Hey everyone, I'm Carlos Davalos, and you're listening to Stories of Ours by Vision2Reality Foundation. This is more than just a podcast, it's a space for courage, resilience, and reinvention. Each episode, we dive deep into real journeys of newcomers to Canada, the challenges they faced, the breakthroughs they've earned, and how they turned uncertainty into opportunity. Whether you're starting fresh or chasing new dreams, these stories are here to remind you that you're not alone and greatness lives within you. Let's go. Hi, everyone. We're super happy to be here introducing Elena del Muro and Shinichi Hosomi in our podcast session this week. Basically, before starting, just want to rephrase something. Moving to a new country isn't just like a physical journey, it's also an emotional one for a lot of immigrants all over the world. The transition actually to life in Canada brings opportunity, but also brings profound psychological pressure too. Studies show that newcomers to Canada are at higher risk for mental health challenges, and some of the things they go through are like isolation and loneliness, loss of identity and self worth as well, language barriers and cultural adjustments, pressure of succeed, and more. So in this sense, we would like to start from the beginning. So to both, let's begin from the start. What inspired you to move to Canada, and what were your first few weeks like? Maybe Elena, you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think there were multiple factors that were motivating us to move to Canada. I think that being 100% transparent, I think that the first and one of the strongest was the security, right? Allowing my children to grow in this secure and more freely environment was a key component to it. There was also the experience, just coming here for the experience and learning a second language, different cultures, living in this multicultural environment, right? So it was a lot about the experience for the kids and, of course, for us. And also the opportunities, right? Like for us as adults, right? It was finding new opportunities for us to expand our networking, to I came here to study, so of course there was this academical and for my husband as well at the beginning the professional opportunity to expand. So it was mainly those three motors that motivated us to come here to Canada.
Yeah, actually, the reasons behind my case, for example, was more on the values I found in Canada that I didn't found in Peru. And what was your case
Mhm.
in this case, Shinichi?
Oh, in my case, my motivation to move to Canada is that I want my kids to learn the diversity because I want help them broaden their horizon. This idea came from my experience. When I used to live in Japan, I volunteered as a Japanese teacher. And I have one guy. He came from Mexico, and yeah, he's a really kind person, and he is definitely one of my best friends. And he's a researcher studying advanced technology, and we had some lessons. And in this lesson, we started something like this. Actually, he really loved Japanese culture and anime. So I asked him, "Oh, do you know Dragon Ball?" He said yes. And I asked, "Do you know Captain Tsubasa?" He told me, "Oh, it's a Captain Olivia." Oh, I didn't know that. Something like this. And yeah, I also asked, "Do you like the Slam Dunk? Have you watched the latest movie?" And yeah, he gave me the very great answer. And I said, "Oh, we same," something like that. Yeah, we are good. Yeah, hung out together. And yeah, actually, I taught many things from him, especially the importance of the community. And also, yeah, I respect his personality, and he has many friends at office and outside the Japan. But I always wished I could do more. Um, I actually I felt I was not good at making a space for him. So I would like, but it was really difficult for me because nobody taught me how to do in Japan, actually. So I came up one idea, the best way to learn, diversity is to move to the diverse country. Yeah, it's very straightforward. And luckily, my wife got into a Canadian college. So yeah, actually we decided to move to Canada. Yeah, that is our reason to come here.
No, thanks for sharing to you both. And how were your first weeks, your first month in Canada? What do you say? Elena, maybe you want to start.
Yeah, the first weeks and the first month, it was an absolute dream. We got here almost in Christmas, right? So we had our first white Christmas. The kids were super excited. The city was gorgeous. It was just enchanting. It felt like a honeymoon. It was so joyful, and it was enchanting.
Well, in my case, it was like a kind of a nightmare. No, not a nightmare, but the thing is, I came in COVID, and I remember I had to quarantine for 15 days too. So yeah, even the first month finding a house, and I came to an Airbnb, and I stayed in an Airbnb for a month. That cost a lot of money. Um,
Hmm.
and then I had to look for a house and then school and everything. So yeah, it was very challenging for me. So it's nice to hear that there's other experiences. And how was your experience, Shinichi?
Yeah, in my case, I arrived here last August, and August is, I think, the perfect season to enjoy the Canada. So at that time, everybody enjoyed the summer holidays and barbecue at the park. Actually, yeah, when we arrived here, we went to the beach and enjoyed the Crystal Sea, Crystal Lake. But actually, at that time, I had to start from zero because I had no connection, no confidence in English, and no job. So yeah, I had to start from scratch. So yes, and during the first 2 weeks, I was busy with some procedures. But when I go to the bed, I I was full of the anxiety. Yeah, so yeah, that's the memory in the first 2 weeks.
And so coming to a new country also leads to also, well, just knowing a new culture. So in this case, what were some of the biggest cultural surprises or adjustments if you face coming from, for example, from Mexico and Japan?
I can go first if you want. I have two children related cultural shocks. And one of them is, I was driving my kid to school, and then I was in the light, making the stop. And then my kid was, just looking through the window. He was 6 at that moment, right? And he's like, Mom, it's so weird. Nobody's honking here. So it took me a moment to reflect on that. It's like, yes, that's right. Nobody's honking here. And I think it holds or reflects the organization that this country has, right? How organized it is. But also, you know what? I feel like people here does not live in such a rush, maybe like in other cities, for example, Mexico City or Guadalajara, which I used to live. So So yeah, that was one, right? Like it was a cultural shock, and I didn't realize until my 6-year-old brought it up. Um, and another cultural shock would be uh, getting those first birthday parties invitations, I would say. Um, just I remember the first time I saw this invitation for my child. I said like it's from 3 to 4:30 or so, right? And I was like, oh my God, so we really have to be on time, otherwise we're gonna miss it, right? This is like a big cultural difference because Mexicans or Latinos tend to maybe overstay in the parties or just finding excuses to, just go big. And our
And to,
birthday
and to,
party,
and to arrive late as well.
exactly. So a birthday party for a 4-year-old would be from 3 to 9 p.m. So it was like, oh my God, we really, really have to make an effort to be on time if you want to make it to the birthday party, right? So definitely in these cases, punctuality, right? So we had to make sure we're on time because here is big thing, right? It's totally different culture.
Completely. And in this case, your Shinichi coming from Japan, what aspects of the Canadian life were most challenging or most easygoing for you in some way?
The most challenging part in Canada is job hunting. Canada job hunting market is very competitive, and yeah, I said, I had to start from scratch. No connection, and also the career paths are very different, I think. Believe it or not, when I start working in Japan, I never signed the contract which defined my role. So my
Mm.
role was very flexible. And so this year, I was an engineer. This year, I was a researcher. And this year was a kind of the project manager. So very, very flexible. So I think it's really good to experience many kind of the roles. But I missed my specialty. It's really difficult to focus on specific, the techniques or skills. So when I come to Canada, I was very shocked because my role did not fit with the Canadian qualification. I checked the LinkedIn, but yeah, there were many gaps within my career and the qualification. So what I remember is I prepared Excel sheet for tracking the company I applied to. Then the more of the company I added to this Excel sheet, the more disappointed I became because I got, I received no reply or the emails starting from unfortunately. So actually, I was burned out almost, and I lost my, appetite, and I could not sleep very well. And yeah, actually, it takes 7 months. Yeah, it was that was a very challenging moment. Yeah.
And what would you say, was there any refreshing moment or any easygoing moment during the process?
During the process, I think one of the refreshing moment was when I saw the children's eyes, which with the shining at the Christmas concert. Uh, this Christmas concert is an annual event at the elementary school. They are going, and each class has their own performance, and audience are parents. Then in the final
Mm.
session, all kids came down from the stage, and they sang a song next to the parents. And my kids found my wife and me, and they sang a song with their shining eyes. I was so emotional because when I come here, I still clearly remember the at the it on the first day starting the school. They were standing and waiting for the bell, but they were totally overwhelmed. At that time, their eye was were not shining. But I think that they overcome many challenges, and they show us their growth. That's so emotional, and yeah, that was the happiest moment in Canada.
Actually, I now that I start to remember because I came during COVID. Uh, I think there were no Christmas concerts at that moment. So my first year, we didn't have any Christmas concerts. I feel the second year those things started, or third year. Um, but at the beginning, yeah, there was nothing of those kind of things. Um, but yes, I totally feel you because I also went through the same process of applying to jobs, and I think I applied to hundreds of jobs and no one called me. That's how networking also was like a light in the tunnel for me. And Elena, were there any moments, and to you both, were during your first year? Okay, and Shinichi, you're still in your first, going to your second year. Was there any moment where you felt like you didn't belong at the beginning, or and how did you work through those feelings?
Totally, 100%. Every time I had to go to the university, I felt like I didn't belong. I felt it seemed like I look more of a, staff or professor other than student. My peers were maybe early 20s, mid 20s, and I was in my late 30s. So there was a big gap in age.
Mm,
So definitely at the beginning, it was um, it was a struggle, right? I felt um, yeah, definitely I felt like I didn't belong. It took me some time to find these people who were under similar circumstances than me, that were, more or like given the same age. So yeah, at the beginning it was challenging, but you know what helped me? Because while some of my peers may be thinking about, oh yeah, let's go out for drinks here or there, I was just more thinking of, oh my God, I hope my Alex at that moment was one, right? I was hoping Alex would sleep through the night so I could
mm,
go through the homework, or like it was total different situation. So what helped me out was to understand that we were under different circumstances and that I had to just embrace my journey, right? This is me. This is what we're going through. This is my project, and it doesn't have to be similar to others, right? This is my process. This is what we want, and this is what I have to work every day. So just changing the perspective of, oh my God, I don't belong, I just pivoted to just trying to find these people who I had more similarity with in,
mm.
let's say, age, maybe family, or maybe, I don't know, ideology or so, or circumstances, right? And then connected and then just own my own process. That helped me.
Yeah, I think I kind of went through a similar situation, but I think I came with that mindset at that moment, or at the beginning, where I was completely focused on an objective that I think I remember now that some people asked me to hang out and to go out after classes or whatever, and I always said no. And basically, I just had no hard feelings on that as well. I just said no because I had certain responsibilities, and I think so. I didn't have like this kind of fun life, and of course there was COVID, so nothing was open, so there was no place to hang out and to for drinks or nothing. So
Mhm. Yeah,
That's kind of his
but you
situation.
raise a really good point. And there is also this fear of missing out, right? Like, oh my God, I'm not connecting with the 25-year-old-ish or the 20, the younger or my colleagues or peers. And then whenever they came up with a plan, it's like, no, I can't go for whatever reason or priorities. And then you have this fear of, oh my God, then I was just, it's hard, but you may feel like, okay, I was almost belonging, and then I just took myself out of there. I don't know if it makes sense, but
Yeah,
there's also this fear of missing out, right?
yeah. I think I took a lot of time, but just connecting through LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn a lot because
Hmm.
no one wanted to meet in person. And what was your case, Shinichi?
Except for job hunting, I've never felt I don't belong to the community. I wouldn't say I have many friends in Canada. I have few close friends, but they really help me. Some always encourage me. Some give me a great advice about the job hunting, and also some introduced me to his friend related to my job. So yeah, actually they did the best to support us. And one day I asked one parent why Canada is a so how can I say welcoming country. So many people welcome the newcomer, and it creates a very warm environment. And she said, we are doing the best to welcome the people." Uh, uh, I was actually so emotional because when I used to live in Japan, I said I did a volunteer, and I understood to understand the people who have a different culture is a is a difficult. It's not easy. I have to understand his background, and I have to try to avoid miscommunication. It's not easy. So I understand this, the atmosphere or environment is not automatically created. So the people in Canada created this atmosphere. So yeah, I was very so happy, and at the moment, uh, she said, "I need some volunteer," and I answered, "Yeah, why not? I want to do this because I want to do my best to contribute to your communication as a sorry, community." So yeah, I was luckily I never felt some kind of the isolation in Canada.
Yeah, I feel during my first year, maybe the whole of my first year, I may feel a bit isolated. Thankfully, there was a couple of friends, a family friend that were the only ones that opened up, that took their masks off almost. And actually, yeah, now those people are like my brothers right now. They're Canadian, and we're very open at that moment. Um, and to you both, okay, let's start from Elena. Elena, you were working in HP basically all your life, according to what I saw on your profile, and in Mexico. And how did you rebuild your career here? Yeah. What did you face to be able to achieve what you achieved?
Yes, I worked at HP, later Hewlett Packard Enterprise, for almost 15 years. It was it was amazing. I loved it. I had to take a pass in my work environment. I mean, yeah, in my professional life at the moment for me to come here. So while I was almost finishing the MBA, I said, okay, I have to re-engage or just go back to the market, and just see what's out there. What I wasn't definitely expecting is that it was going to be hard to find a professional job, right? considering the experience and considering maybe the education or whatever, it was hard. It was very challenging. I remember I applied to more than 100 job postings, and I was called to very, very, very minimum interviews. I was definitely not expecting that, right? Like maybe in my mind, I was just thinking like, oh yeah, it's right after the MBA, I'm just gonna be, in the marketplace, and it's gonna take me a couple of months. The reality is that it took me more than 6 months. It took me a lot of job postings. Um, I had to apply to multiple positions, and I was definitely not expecting that. There were times, I have to be honest, when I was thinking like, what's wrong? Is it my resume? Is it my, there's something wrong? Is it my English? Is it, I was just started doubting myself. Am I doing something wrong? And so, what helped me a lot at that moment to rebuild my career is just, okay, ground myself. It's not about my English level, I would say. It's not about the lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of willingness, or whatever. It was circumstances, right? And that were just happening. So, what I did was I reached out for help and support. So I reached out to this team and I said, okay, I'm having trouble, connecting, just getting to these interviews. That was like, I was just like, just give me the chance to prove myself. That was like my feeling for all of these months, right? And so these people helped me to draft my resume, adapting it to the Canadian market, highlighting my capabilities, my achievements, my experience. So that was very, very helpful.
Who
He,
who who did you reach out?
I reached out to this team is Career Elevator. You can find it online.
Oh, okay, okay.
And these I was on constant meeting with them, and it wasn't honestly it wasn't pricey. I think it's totally worth it. They helped me just, let's say, give this punch out on my resume to just make it, to stand out. That's what I wanted. I just want to stand out. And when I am in the interview, it's going to be on me, right? So with these people, I was able to also, you know, have these mock interviews and how to present myself using the situation task and how did I, achieve, it was very helpful. So that definitely helped me. And now it's been almost 2 years since that I emerged in the public sector, and I am very proud. So I would say, I think that everybody goes through these, all of us, or the majority of us go through these helpless or like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with us. We just have to ask for help. And also networking, right? You mentioned it, Carlos. Networking is the absolute key, I would say. We just have to reach out to other people. It's unbelievable the amount of people that goes through the same thing, and we just wouldn't imagine, right? And I think that also it helped me a lot, a lot, a lot. The fact that I had this friend who was just going through the same things. We were at the MBA together. She had this very robust experience in Chile, and she was as frustrated as I was. And she was, is it me? No, it's not you. Like both of us were supporting each other. We were just both of us, sharing best practices or tips for interviews, job postings, whatever. So that kept me definitely motivated, right? Like I wasn't feeling alone, and I was like, yeah, like I wasn't feeling alone, and it kept me motivated.
Yeah, I think that I think the beginning is very, very challenging. Yeah, I actually was a bit lucky because I thankfully found a job very quick, but I had a big pressure of timing because I only had 1 year permit at that moment. Yeah, so I had to do things very quick, and thankfully the stars aligned and things worked out. And how was your case, Shinichi? in this case, you came from the operational technology side, right? As a dependent employee in Japan, and now entrepreneur. So in this case, what helped you or what made you made the decision to pivot into being an entrepreneur?
I think my experience in the previous company helped me to pivot my role, especially the flexible role. When I had a previous project, I developed a cloud system for the agriculture in the agriculture section. And at that time, I built a AI model to learn the tacit knowledge that the farmer has. So to get this knowledge, I often went to the customers to talk about the requirement. And also I had another role to write a source code. At that time, I was really busy because I had two tasks. One is to understand the customer's request, and the next one is the second one is writing source code. But actually, I had a really good experience to build a great system with customers. And also, luckily now, thanks to the AI technology, we could reduce the time to write the source code. AI help, the AI can write source code and check the source code. So it increased the productivity incredibly. So in this situation, I think I could take a role. It's kind of the entrepreneur who can, the solve the customer's request. And also I can use the AI technology to increase the software development productivity. So yeah, this situation make me help. This situation helped me to help me to decide this entrepreneur's role.
You're muted.
You told me, Shinichi, a while ago that networking helped you out during here in Canada and meeting people. How did you manage to meet people in Canada? How did people help you in Canada to connect with other people? I know you met your partner also through different connections. So how was your process in that sense?
About the process to connect the people, I think, yeah, I aggressively move and dived into the new community, I think. For example, now I belong to the community at the elementary school. This community is organized by the parents. And when my kids start school year, I joined the one online meeting, and I know the parents were recruiting the volunteers because elementary school must organize the many events. They need support from the parent. So I joined the online meeting and I raised my hand to express I'm interested in the volunteers. And yes, I think that through this, I think that this is one turning point to open the door. And also, I joined all events that require the parents' help as much as possible. Through these activity, I got to know many parents who support me. And so, yes, I think to dive into the new environment is, I think, really important to build a great community network.
Yeah, that's very cool. Actually, it's cool that you have this kind of community right now in the school. Well, your kids go to the same school as mine, so I know this community is great right now. So it's very
Totally.
cool. It's very cool that there's this kind of support system, because it's actually a support system right now that much different than the one I had. So I'm very glad that this exists, and these kind of systems and elements exist for new immigrants. And Shinichi and Elena. So this is kind of a tough question too. But for example, for me, maybe during my 6 months, I really went very low. So I was in a very low moment in my life. Uh, Actually, I didn't resign, or I didn't kind of I didn't give up at any moment. But I feel if at any moment my wife at that moment would have asked me, "Hey, you know what? Let's leave this. Let's go back." Maybe I would say yes. But I just kept on pushing through. But I was very low. I think I was very depressed at that moment. Throughout the way, and of course, there's journeys. There's up and downs throughout the way. But the beginning, the first 6 months, kind of, you felt in a certain moment that, oh my God, like I'm really I really like touched rock bottom. You felt in any way like that, Elena? Maybe.
Yes. I did, and to be honest, maybe I've been there a couple of times, not only once. The thing is that I have never considered going back. It's like I just try to focus in the big picture. And we came here for a reason, and we want to stay here for God knows how long. So whenever I was homesick, or whenever I was like, okay, no, okay, this is way too much, I would just recharge. And the way I recharge is, yes, of course, building these support system here in Canada, just reaching to our people, right? But whenever I miss my family so much, I would just call my mom and, or my parents, just, do you want to come visit? We miss you a lot, right? So that definitely recharged me. I know it's I don't know, it's sometimes it's hard to do that, but I did go rock bottom. I have gone a couple of times. It has been hard, but I never thought about going back. I feel it more of a journey. We have ups and downs. And when you feel like you are rock bottom, what's next? You got to go up. So that's what I
Exactly.
keep on focusing, right? If I just stay low and, oh my God, crying my eyes out for whatever frustration or expectation, right? Like, which is the other big, let's say, elephant in the room that we all live when we migrate. It's like, oh yeah, it's just gonna take me like a year to just build whatever I had built 20 years back in Mexico. Of course not. It's gonna take me some time. So we have this expectation, we have these frustrations, we have these, some of us go through some economical challenges, some of us go through an intense homesickness. But what I think that helped me is just focusing in the big picture. Why did we come here? And this is just a roller coaster, ups and downs, and this down is going to go eventually up. Long answer to a short question.
Yeah, yeah. I think in my case, I think what helped me a lot was starting to connect with myself when it was really low. And Shinichi, you're still in an early stage, but through the first months, I know you went through some struggles. Can you tell me a bit more about that? This just, I think it will build up your profile, so we can start talking about the growth mindset side, the identity side. So in this case, what was your toughest moment, Shinichi, in
Um,
your beginnings?
my toughest moment was, during the job hunting. I had the same experience. I was depressed so much, and yeah, I mentioned I got many, unfortunate email. And at that time, I was totally overwhelmed, and I was burned out, and I could not sleep very well. And yeah, what I remember was, I prepared my resume to apply the new company. I almost completed the resume, but I could not push the button to send it out.
Mm.
I think that I almost become crazy. Mm.
So, and was it a matter of feeling worthy of that position,
Sorry,
or
sorry, pardon.
feeling that you deserved it? Was that the problem? You didn't feel that you deserved the position, or why didn't you press the button?
Because I think that I lost my self-control.
Mm,
Yeah, I understood my mind was something wrong, and I could not handle myself.
mm,
So in this situation, I was really lucky because uh, my wife said, I understand your situation. And she said, oh, let's think about the solution together. She didn't complain about my situation. I think it was really great help for me. I, I, I said, she helped me. She saved me.
that's so cool. That's very cool to hear. That's very cool to hear because at the end, you both came with families. So I feel at the end, your family becomes your team, right? And your low moments here are the ones that lift you up. So that's great to hear. A great story for that. And Shinichi, if you think right now, the Shinichi that came to Canada and the Shinichi right now, your new version, how do you feel you have evolved during the way?
How do you feel?
So how do you feel you have evolved? Like, what's the difference between the old Shinichi seen before coming to Canada, or the moment you arrived to Canada and the Shinichi right now?
Yeah, I think the big difference is that yeah, I figure out the importance of the people around me. Actually, especially my wife. I think yeah, I mentioned many people have in Canada helped me, and also the the CEO found me, and he gave me the great opportunity. And yeah, also kids show me that they are growth. But the biggest, I don't know, contributor is my wife. So now actually I understand the importance of my wife. And yeah, still, I'm struggling I'm not good at telling my love to my wife. I understand now. Yeah, it's a difference. But yeah, I think in the future, I want to say, is, I want to tell my love, appreciation to my wife in English because we Japanese are not good at telling love to our like our wife. It's a tradition. So I'm learning English to yeah express my expression. Yeah, actually, yeah, this is advice from my CEO. Yeah, he lived in Canada for 20 years, and he was Japanese, but now he's Canadian, and he taught me the importance of family and a wife.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so great to hear. So basically, uh, so now you're laughing more with your wife together. That's the thing. So that's a big difference, as you see.
I think we
Or
are
you're more
still.
connected. Maybe you're more connected with your wife right now than before.
Uh, I think it's still in the process because now she's very busy because she's a student and also she had a temporary work, and also in my case I had to expand my business, so we had to have many things that have to proceed.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, we will have some moment to walk around, just walk around my house, we would like to laugh together.
Nice. That's good to hear. And how about you, Lena? What's the difference between the Elena that arrived to Canada and the Elena right now?
Ah, what a profound question. But I feel like, of course, I'm more adaptive, right? I realize the hard way that we are in control of nothing, right? Just being more adaptive is okay. Just, you know, changes happen and we have to adapt. And changes is the only constant that we have in life. So we have to adapt or die, basically. So that's one. I'm way more adaptive. I'm way more compassionate, for sure. I feel like the Elena from 4 years ago to Elena as of today, I used to maybe over criticize myself sometimes, like, oh, or just become judgmental towards decisions or so. And now I feel like I feel more compassionate about myself. And I think that migration had to do a lot of it. And because, you know, it takes migration is a huge thing. Is big, is massive. The way I see it is like we are this beautiful flower in our garden, right? Back in Mexico. It's a beautiful flower. But we decided, or whatever circumstances that, in personal lives, but we were removed from that garden and we were planted somewhere else. It
Mm.
takes time for the flower to recognize a new environment. It takes time for the flower to recognize and adapt to the new soil. And it also takes time for the roots to actually go deep and grow, right? So that's the way I see it. And we were recently planted here in Canada. It takes time and it requires a lot of compassion to just take a moment, reflect, look back and see, I did it. Look where I am right now. And maybe I just want to go all the way and I want to achieve. I have so many things that I want to achieve and things that I want to become, things that I want to work internally that I want to be. Like I have these many things that I want to do and be, but it just sometimes takes a moment to reflect on where we are right now and how far we have come over these 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, or whatever is the time since we immigrated. And lastly, I would say that I am way more grateful. I'm way more grateful. And even though sometimes I have this example, right? Like even for the things that don't go our way, I feel like I recognize and I am grateful for it. It's like I have an example. I had the dream job at that moment, right? I was like, I want this job at this great company and it was a great pay and it was just like an amazing opportunity for me, and I was in through this interview process. I was highly motivated and then devastated because I got the we're sorry, the sorry email that breaks our hearts. But even in that situation, I was grateful because you know what, I realized that maybe that position would have, I don't know, I would have been through some struggles with my personal life. Maybe I would have been through a lot of pressure or stress, or who knows. So I want to say that God saved me from that position and gave me something that it's more adequate to my needs at this moment, which is having a work-life balance. So I would say that way more grateful. I even in those situations when things don't go my way, it's important to take a moment and reflect and just, be thankful for it.
Yeah, actually, I think you raised a point that is very important, because actually, remember in my 6 months when I was very low, I was given this book and I started to read this book. My wife also saved me, Shinichi. She gave me this book. I started to read the book, and then I jumped to another book and I started to read a lot of books at that moment. And one of the things I learned that I wasn't aware before was appreciation, but appreciation of the things of the now. And I read a book, I remember, from Byron Katie, an author, and she mentioned the importance of being in love of what is. And I remember that I started to focus more on feeling very grateful for every little goal, even as minimum as it was. And right now it's something that I still apply, and it's part of my habit right now. Like, even something as small as possible, and that's something I want to also share with my kids, is being grateful of every even little small little step. Super grateful, and just celebrating the goal, and like giving myself high fives and cheering myself on. So yeah, I feel gratitude is a big step. And also appreciating the moment, even a small walk around the house, even just, I don't know, walking around the neighborhood, going to a mountain, going to swim in the pool, etc. It's appreciating the moment, and trying to be more conscious of the moment, right? Maybe Shinichi, you feel that during the way you're still a year. Maybe during my first year, I was still in the process. Maybe I'll share some books for you too.
Thank you. Yeah. I
And
follow your advice.
yeah, and Shinichi, did you feel that certain moment that something really helped you in to change your mindset? Of course, aside from your kids, and you already told me that there's this person, the CEO, that helped you and changed your mind and things. What was the best advice that he gave you?
He gave advice. I think the best advice he gave me was he yeah, actually he shared the immigration the process. So he experienced the immigration, and also he struggled when he came here. And actually, he taught me the importance of the family, especially the wife. And so before I met him, I was mm, kind of, how can I say, I don't have any picture of in my journey because everything is new. I had to start from scratch. So I really focus on the today or tomorrow. Or today I have to apply this job. Maybe tomorrow I have to apply another job. So I really focus on the one day or 2 day. But I met I met the CEO, and he shared this is a journey. It's a process. He said that it took he said 5 years to get settled in Canada. So that's the moment. I think I expand my view. Yeah, I think that was the moment it could change my mind.
Yeah, I think I think when you come with an expectation and then things start to move and you know where, yeah, it's completely out of your control. I think I went through the same thing. And I feel there's a moment where you just need to let go and just let go with the process too. Just jump in and just let go and see what
Yeah.
happens. Uh, and if you could both give one piece of advice to a newcomer, like your own selves, uh, 4 or 5 years ago, Elena and Shinichi a year ago or so, what would it be? Like, what would you tell yourself?
I would say don't isolate. You remember that this country is being built and has been built by immigrants. So there's a lot of people out there that has gone through the same exact things that we're going through. Or they know firsthand, or their parents went through that. You wouldn't imagine the amount of people that is going through. So I would say don't isolate. Talk to people in the supermarket, playground, while picking up kids. Just connect because that's how you will eventually find your people, right? And sometimes we need this kind of mirror with somebody else, like, yes, he's going through the same stuff like me. I don't feel like I am the only one going through all of these, or things are not going their way. Like, we sometimes imagine that other people's have perfect lives, and right, that's a lie. We all have struggles. So it's important to just connect with whoever you can, everywhere, anytime of the day. It's a good moment to connect. The other recommendation I would give is have an open mindset. You may, required to do things that you didn't consider. You may be required to live at a different, maybe you back in your country you had this beautiful big house, and here you have to live in a small apartment. That's okay. You're going to be through different circumstances. You have to adapt, and we have to adapt, and we may need to do things, but it's just going to be for a moment. Remember that plant, that beautiful flower that has been replanted, right? It will take some time for the roots to go all the way down. And maybe a last one, it would be don't compare yourself to what you used to be back in your country, because that creates a huge expectation on what your Canada journey should be. And it shouldn't be anything, right? Like, if I just try to compare, like, okay, at Hewlett Packard I used to have this position and I used to blah blah blah, all that I'm going to be, generating within is going to be frustration. I have to let go, lose the control, and be open, and things will eventually, happen. We just have to have an open mindset and don't compare ourselves to our own selves, but in the past. And remember, it took me 50, 20 years, God knows how long, to build what we had in Mexico. It's going to take as well some time here.
Yeah, super true. I feel that letting go piece is I think is key, because there are some moments where you just need patience and you just need to wait. And there's two choices. Or you start cutting yourself because you're dying of impatience because you want control in your life, or just do the things you do and just let go and let the process fall. Like, so I feel I went through that very challenging situation when my permit was going to expire 15 days after, and my wife was almost killing herself. And I don't know why, but I really felt like I know if it's faith, but I feel like I kind of the process was mine, and that something was going to happen, and thankfully something happened. But I feel there's some moment we just need to uh, take all the resistance out and just fall in the process. And in your case, Shinichi, what advice would you give yourself to the old Shinichi, to the Shinichi a year ago?
I would say show kindness to
Mm.
people around you, especially the closest person. Yeah. Actually, this is advice to me, current now. Yeah. Still, yeah, I have to think about it because many people who helped me yeah, actually, there are many people who helped me, but it's relatively easy to understand their help. But for example, in my wife's case, she is always next to me, and she gave me many things. That's kind of the relationship. And sometimes I forgot what she did, what she's doing. So yeah, I have to understand her contribution and yeah, show kindness to my wife.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because at the end, I feel maybe if it wasn't for your wife, you wouldn't be here or or achieve all the things that you achieved. So yeah, of course. I think I wouldn't I wouldn't have survived if without my wife too. So I also feel appreciated on that. Thanks for sharing this, Shinichi. And right now, for you both, maybe Shinichi start. What does home mean to you now?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. And before I came here, I never, imagined that what is the home because home is a kind of the air, the earth for me. But now I think the especially think kids. I think the kids must consider about what is home because we moved to the Canada and they have a memory of the Japanese life, but I think that they are going to forget this memory and they become the Canadian. So in that case, my wife and I must show what is the home to you. Mm. So home is something the parent inherit to children.
Thanks for sharing that. In my case, I feel like after returning 4 years later to Peru, I didn't feel at home for the first time in Peru. So it was very strange for me like when I returned, I didn't feel at home in Peru. And also I feel at that moment I feel I was starting to feel at home here, but not completely. So it was like a change of emotions because I felt like I didn't belong there and I didn't belong here in a certain moment. I may was in a crisis at that moment. I feel right now that right now I'm at home here, but I went through that situation once I came back from Peru, actually. How about you, Elena?
Yes, I had, excuse me, I had the same feeling of, like recently that we went to Mexico a few months ago. And I had that feeling of, I feel like we are not local in Mexico, but I also feel like, oh, sometimes it's hard to feel local here as well. So it's, I don't know, it comes and goes. Um, but to me, home is, it's not a place. Home is where your heart is.
Mm.
Vast or the biggest piece of my heart is here with me. My husband, my kids are with me. So either if we are in Alberta, BC, wherever, as long as we're together, that's home, right? But also there is this important piece in my heart as well. So it's my family, my parents, my sibling, my nieces, my nephew, anywhere where we gather and have a cup of coffee, you know, that's home as well. So I just desperately look forward to those once in a year gatherings where we would just laugh and laugh and laugh about ourselves or life or anything. And that's home as well. And I feel like, yeah, it's wonderful. It's an amazing feeling that I'm home here but I also am home even if we just meet in Mexico, all of us together, and just spend a cup of coffee on a Sunday night.
And Shinichi, if I ask you, what are you most grateful for in your Canadian journey at the moment?
Yeah, there are many grateful moments. Yeah, actually, the most grateful moment was maybe I already mentioned. I saw my kids singing a song with shining eyes. So that's the moment I could feel their growth. And also, at the moment, I felt our decision is right, correct. It's a good choice for our kids. So that was the greatest moment, grateful moment in my Canadian life. Yeah.
You, Elena?
I'm grateful of so many things. I can start by saying I'm grateful for the warm welcoming that we got, even though it was winter, for allowing us to stay in this country in a permanent way, for allowing our family to be closer and to, I don't know, I feel like we connected more, and I don't know, in a more beautiful way. We're more connected, we're closer. Also for health, Nicholas, my oldest, had to go through an open heart surgery when we just basically arrived here. So it was, I will always be thankful for this country because my kid is safe and sound, right? And he's making travel. So I'm tremendously grateful for that. And for the opportunity to reinvent myself and just, you know, just go with the flow here and just welcome and embrace whatever Canada has to give me.
Thanks for sharing that. And also to you both, Shinichi, if you want to start in one sentence, or just start whoever is ready, just give an answer. In one sentence, one word, however, describe your immigrant story or your immigrant journey.
An exciting, intense, and blessed roller coaster.
In my case, enjoy the first time.
Enjoy.
First time. Enjoy the first moment. So everything the new. So yeah, enjoy the unexpected
Oh, okay,
things,
cool.
including
Beautiful.
good things and bad things.
Perfect. Well, I love the conversation. With this, we can wrap up. So thank you very much to both. Highly appreciate the conversation.
Thank you so
Was such a
much.
pleasure.